All right, we begin with a live look outside of this Denver 7 weather action day. Pretty good coating of snow up on Vail Pass Summit, and that is heading our way.
Oh yeah, and this is what it looks like in Colorado Springs. People are already breaking out the snow shovels to clear their paths and driveways out there. Very fun.
Buckle up. Welcome Denver 7 News at 10. I'm Shannon Ogden.
Good evening. I'm Ann Trujillo, and thanks so much for joining us tonight. Let's send it right over to our chief meteorologist, Mike Nelson. Mike, we're due for snow that's going to make the morning commute a little tricky.
A little bit tricky, but we will not see nearly as much snow as they'll get to the south of us and to the west of us. Right now in Denver, a few flakes of snow are falling. And on radar, you can see that activity over Jefferson County and Douglas County. Not too much from Denver to the north at the moment. I don't think we'll see a lot of accumulation up over Weld County or Larimer County from the storm around Fort Collins and Greeley. The majority of it is over southern Colorado. That's where the avalanche watches are in effect in the mountains. Winter weather advisories for the San Juans, as well as from about Monument Hill all the way down to Trinidad with this particular storm for tonight and tomorrow for up to about 6 inches of snow. Around here it's going to be less than that, but the temperatures dropping already down to 22 in Denver, 23 Fort Collins and Greeley, 0 at Leadville. And so by morning we'll pick up around an inch of snow or so with temperatures dropping into the teens. And what that means for the morning drive is some slick spots and stretches on the roads. It'll be kind of a slow go. But by the end of the week, we're talking about some temperatures in the 60s. I'll have details on that in just a few minutes.
All right, what a change. All right, thank you, Mike. So there is no doubt the vaccine rollout, well, it's confusing for a lot of people. And we get so many emails from you wondering how and when you're supposed to sign up for the shot.
So it started out simply enough in Colorado. The first round, phase 1A, took care of the high-risk healthcare staff and people who lived or worked in those care facilities. And then we stepped into adding phase 1B, adding more healthcare workers, first responders, Coloradans 70 and older. Now the goal, by the way, is to get 70% of people 70 and up vaccinated by the end of next month.
And next up, the pool for phase 1B, well, that's about to get a lot bigger. We're adding all kinds of essential workers, from teachers to postal workers and from grocery store clerks to bus drivers. They become eligible to get the shot March 1st.
And dealing with such a large group, how do you decide who's next in line?
Tonight, Denver 7's Gary Brode is taking a 360 look at the debate over which essential workers deserve priority.
We're working hard this week to actually start the planning. Well, we actually get it together on what we think the priorities are for phase 1B below the dashed line.
Comments made Monday morning from the man who oversees Colorado's vaccine efforts. Brigadier General of the Colorado National Guard makes us think there may already be a pecking order to the next vaccination plan. In this 360, we'll hear what he has to say, plus get perspectives from union leaders for teachers and grocery store employees, and find out what the state's response is to the vaccination plan. We start with Brigadier General Scott Sherman, who believes educators should be prioritized next.
Teachers are actually going to be the first priority from there. Pre-K through 12 and child care workers, that's going to be our number one priority to make sure we can get in-class learning.
Several large school districts have already started their return to in-person learning, and thousands of students and staff are already in quarantine.
We believe that because of the role that our educators play and the impact and the reach that they have in our communities, that it certainly makes sense for them to be at the top of that list.
Amy Baca-Ollard is the president of the Colorado Education Association. She says teachers have concerns going back to in-person learning. Getting the vaccine gives a layer of security they need.
It certainly has caused a lot of angst and anxiety. I think we have a lot of educators who are just anxious, and there's so many unknowns in our world right now, and this is just another one of those stressors.
But some question whether teachers are at a higher risk than essential workers inside grocery stores. Stores that never closed and workers who couldn't work from home.
We've lost 4 grocery workers and 6 packing house workers, but we've had hundreds become very sick.
The most recent passing was Rainey Gordon, an employee who worked at a Safeway in Castle Rock for 18 years. Gordon died days before Christmas from COVID complications. The union believes she may have contracted it while working.
I think it's important that the teachers receive their vaccine, but I also think it's important for our frontline workers to receive the vaccine as well. I mean, the food chain, these workers have continued to work through the entire pandemic.
The state tells Denver7, we know educators play a vital role in helping students return to class. We are evaluating the populations below the dotted line in 1B and will announce any decisions once a final determination is made. Gary Brode, Denver 7.
And California is making big changes to the way it prioritizes vaccines. The LA Times tonight is reporting the state is shifting its focus to age group instead of job types for this next round. So what do you think about all of this? Which group deserves to be next in line for the vaccine? Email us at 360@thedenverchannel.com.
Well, right now, Colorado is receiving and using about 60,000 vaccine doses each week. But Governor Polis says our state could easily handle 3 to 4 times that.
And tonight he is urging the Biden administration to speed up production immediately. Operation Warp Speed controls the national rollout. They send vaccines to states based on population. And with a little under 2% of the U.S. population, Colorado gets just under 2% of the vaccines created each week.
And to get more doses, we need to see an overall boost in manufacturing. And last week, President Biden invoked the Defense Production Act, which compels companies to make, this time, vaccines and pandemic supplies. If you have any questions about getting the coronavirus shot, I know so many of you do, there is a new state hotline, 1-877-CO-VAX-CO.
And protecting your health is just one aspect of this pandemic. Dealing with the financial hit is another major challenge. And now the city of Denver is getting a big boost in its efforts to help people who are struggling to pay their bills. The city received nearly $22 million in federal emergency rental assistance funds to help pay rent in homes where someone's unemployed or facing financial hardships. Single people earning up to $55,000 a year, or a household of 4 earning around $78,000 a year could qualify for help. Denver is still working out distribution details.
Tonight, the second impeachment trial of former President Donald Trump is officially in motion. Impeachment managers delivered the article this evening accusing the president of whipping up the mob that stormed the U.S. Capitol.
Donald John Trump engaged in high crimes and misdemeanors by inciting violence against the government of the United States.
Senators will be sworn in as jurors tomorrow, and then both sides will have 2 weeks to prepare. The Associated Press tonight is reporting that federal agents are now looking into threats to attack or even kill lawmakers who are involved in this process.
And these images of the riot at the U.S. Capitol, well, they were seen all around the world. As federal investigators dig through hours of footage and online chatter, one thing is becoming clear. Far-right extremists played a major role in the attack.
As Denver7 CB Cotton reports tonight, messaging from white nationalist groups is now starting to pop up right here in Denver.
Something can be near you, and still, you may not notice it. Just like those here in Cheeseman Park who probably don't notice these stickers placed on signs in and around the green space.
It makes me very angry and disturbed, especially as a parent.
Disturbed because these stickers are a recruitment call for the white supremacist group Patriot Front. The group formed after the deadly Charlottesville Unite the Right rally in 2017.
There's photos of us pulling stickers down.
On Saturday, some people wrote on social media that they too had pulled down stickers in Cheeseman Park. 2 grassroots activists, part of Indivisible Front Range Resistance, asked us not to share their identity out of fear of retaliation. They say since the start of the new year, they've seen stickers posted in many public places.
Hate does not have a home here.
It shouldn't, but it does. And according to Rachel Nielsen with Colorado Resilience Collaborative at the University of Denver, hate builds.
These are conversations we have to have in our home because they're just so pervasive now.
Nielsen says after events like the Capitol insurrection, some people will fall away from a political ideology, but others will double down.
We'll have a small minority that double down and get more serious.
Denver police say there have been no recent reports involving the recruitment stickers, but say someone could be charged with criminal mischief if the sticker causes damage to personal property.
They use American values to rope people into some of these ideas, and then the white supremacy philosophy is sort of rolled out, right, after you're already involved.
Proof that hate can sometimes be in places we may not expect, but people must learn to notice.
We can't shy away from the conversation. It's a difficult conversation to have.
CB Cotton, Denver7.
A remote learning program with a near $1 million price tag struggles to get off the ground in Douglas County schools.
Rollout was probably the worst part. And resources are as limited as they are. That money could absolutely have been better spent.
Teachers frustrated, parents calling it bait and switch. Now we're uncovering multiple complaints from across the nation about the company involved.